Episode 6, 1917 Patrol. It's your boy Icon with more DC TV. And yes, going through all these DC TV shows, I need sleep and I need to shave. But I love me some DC TV, some DC Universe, and we gonna keep talking about it until the wheels fall off. So, in episode 6, it takes place, because remember in episode 5, Rita had stole the time machine. And she ended up going to 1917 of all places. We see the moment in the time machine where you start to lose your memory, because it seems that every single time somebody goes through this time machine and then comes out on the other side, they forget who they are. So just like with Madame Rouge, she lost her memory. She ends up in 1917 and she's found by some people outside. You know, they ask her who she is. She's just like, oh, I don't know who I am. She's like, I can't remember my name. And then all she has is a piece of paper in her pocket where it says, what was it, Laura DeVille, and then Madame Rouge basically, and then it says the Sisterhood of Dada. So they bring her in. They bring her into the, into the house or into the office, whatever. Come to find out, she landed in front of the bureau, and the bureau is the place that had Larry Trainer under lock and key for a long time. It was the same place that was housing like those butt alien monsters, and and we also find out that Niles Coulter used to be a member of the bureau. So they bring Rita into the bureau, and they have her go through a psych evaluation. Because again, she doesn't know who she is, so they're trying to assess her to see, if she's like a threat or not. Surprisingly, Madame Rouge is the one who's her doctor, her psychoanalyst, or the person who's doing her evaluation. Because Madame Rouge was a member of the Bureau. So she gets an assessment of like Rita's power. She finds out that Rita has the elastic, like stretchy blob power. And then she didn't really see her power as being a big deal. So she labeled her as a non-weapon. Now, what being a non-weapon apparently means is that the Bureau is basically collecting metahumans. And they're trying to get metahumans to perform, I guess, whatever dastardly, like, worldwide deeds that they need to be done. But whenever they acquire metahumans, they try to figure out, like, which ones have power, which ones aren't powerful, and the ones that they don't deem worthy enough to be powerful, the ones they don't deem worthy enough to be weapons, they basically have them do odd jobs around the office, like cleaning, cooking, and, sitting in the basement. Rita came into the cafeteria, and there were all these agents at the Bureau that was there, and Rita wasn't allowed to sit at the table because she was a metahuman, and the other people, considered her a freak. Now, I thought it was very funny that the person in 1917, I find it very funny that the person who called Rita a freak and an outcast and told her to go downstairs in the basement and eat food with the rest of her kind was a black person. And I'll just leave it at that. So Rita goes downstairs because, again, she's not allowed to eat upstairs with the rest of the agents because she's a meta, and metas are trash and metas are freaks. She goes downstairs, and then she gets introduced to all the rest of the meta freaks. Madame Rouge is basically still sitting upstairs eating with the civilized folk, and but Rita's getting to know everybody else that's downstairs. She told them that she didn't know who she was, and then she said that she thought her name was Laura DeVille, but apparently she met Laura DeVille, but she said all she knows is the Sisterhood of Dada. Madame Rouge herself walks up to Rita and brings her into the Sisterhood. And this is where we find out that the Sisterhood of Dada is actually something that Madame Rouge created and some of the other metas created. It's like a pocket dimension that they created where they can be themselves and they can have fun together and they can enjoy each other's company and they can escape, like the racism and the horrible treatment from the Bureau. So they bring Rita into the pocket dimension and they start asking her all these questions, like, who are you? What about your powers? Then somebody said, like, you're from the future, or do we matter in the future? Or is the Sisterhood of Dada famous in the future? And then Rita was just like, I wish I could answer those questions. But then, they all end up just like having a good time drinking and dancing and smoking, going caca and fiddle-dee-dee and and all this other stuff. They're slowly bringing Rita into the fold, which is why when Madame Rouge in the future, when she was watching those old highlight tapes, that old footage, when she was watching all that old footage of herself back in the day, there was a moment, remember, where she saw Rita in the corner in the background. And she was just like, why are you there in this picture? Because Rita went back in time and she was hanging out with them and nobody can remember. And while they're there, Rita's just getting to know everybody. And then, everybody's talking about the segregation between metas versus like the bureau people and how they're treated a certain way. And then Rita just got to a point where she went back to the cafeteria. And then, she was talking to one of the girls and she was like, oh, let's go downstairs, and tell the gang about the sandwiches that are in the cafeteria. And then somebody in the background, I think it was the black girl, somebody in the background was like, yeah, go downstairs, you meta freaks. And then that's when Rita got to the point where she was like, look, she was like, yo, there are a lot more of us than there are you, and plus y'all don't even have powers. So Rita just took a seat at the damn table. And then when Rita took a seat at the table, the other girl took a seat at the table, another girl took a seat at the table, and then the black dude was like, I guess we doing this shit. And then they all took a seat at the table, and then like all the bureau people were like, oh my, like they clutched their pearls in unison. And they were just like dumbfounded and disgusted. And then a security guard came in and told, he was like, you meta-filled, come with me. But it actually ended up being Madame Rouge in disguise. And I don't think the Bureau knows that Madame Rouge has powers, not the way she was acting, because she was really like going around like really sneaking it and hiding it the whole time. And she wasn't forced to eat downstairs with the rest of them. I don't think Madame Rouge like let them know that. But the problem is the Sisterhood of Dada in the future, they hate Madame Rouge. Niles Coulter hates Madame Rouge. And he said that she's the most vile, horrible human being of all time. But based on what we saw in this episode, something had to have happened to the point where Madame Rouge betrayed the Sisterhood of Dada. There was even a moment where, because again, like all the metahumans who aren't considered like real dangerous weapons, they all get like a menial task to do around the Bureau. Rita's task was basically sorting the mail, because since she can stretch, she can use her arms to put the mail in different places. But she felt some kind of way when she ended up picking up mail that had Niles Coulter's name on it. And then, Madame Rouge even asked her, she was like, why does Niles Coulter ring a bell to you? And then she was like, I don't know. And, they both got that thing. So, but it was just something where it's just like, it's very interesting. And I thought Niles was actually going to be there, like a young Niles Coulter, but he never popped up in the episode. Madame Rouge then took the Sisterhood, out of the building, because she was just like, oh, I'm going to protect you. She was like, you're my responsibility no matter what. So at this point, like, I guess she's going to hide them from the Bureau, and we're going to see what happens going forward, because it's very weird. It's like, it's very weird, because the way Madame Rouge was acting, because she told them, she was like, I'll protect you guys no matter what. There's definitely something wrong where, and the Brotherhood of Evil was in the episode too, because in the beginning of the episode, when Rita had crash landed or like burst up like through the dirt, the Brain and like the gorilla, they were there, and I don't know if they were recruited. Like maybe Madame Rouge works for the Brotherhood of Evil and she betrays the sister. I don't know, but I'm actually very interested to see what's going on here. Like I've been intrigued with this Madame Rouge thing from like the beginning, and every episode I just have more and more questions, and I need answers. Like, Lord, we need answers. So then after that, well, that was pretty much it for Rita. Like they ended up, like the Sisterhood ended up, like putting some respect on their name, and they decided to be friends and, and click up and do the damn thing, like going forward, despite what the Bureau thinks. Every other member of the Doom Patrol had their own little like side episodes. Victor, so I mean, we'll just go through this one real quickly because not a lot really happened in the most part. Victor basically went on a journey to discover who he was. He ended up taking the same mountain climbing path that his mom took, and he got all emotional about it. And then at the end of the episode, he ended up going to a doctor because he wanted to look into getting synthetic skin, because he's trying to replace the metal parts of his body with skin. Cliff was on the internet. He was clicking on pop-ups. He was looking at cam videos. He was playing cards. He was doing all sorts of things. He had an epiphany because he's been taking drugs, and he said that all this stuff happened for a reason, to make him a better parent and a better grandfather for his daughter and his child. Larry had a full-blown conversation with his son, because his son got attacked in the last episode, and then he found out that his son actually works for the Bureau, and that set him off, because you know how the Bureau treated Larry. And then he was just like, look, son, he was like, I don't know, he's like, I don't approve of you working for the Bureau. And then he was like, don't call me son, because that would imply that you were there, and you were never there. You never took me to softball games, until you never taught me how to drive, or blah blah blah. And then Larry got mad, and he was like, look, damn it, he's like, you think I wanted to be a human mummy? He's like, you think I wanted to be full of radiation? He's like, you think I wanted to have these problems? He's like, yo, I gotta wrap myself up every day and every night. He said, I gotta unwrap myself to take a leak. He was like, yo, ain't nobody want this shit. And matter of fact, now that I realize that you're very ungrateful about every single thing I tried to do for you, I'm offended, and I'd appreciate it if you get the F about my house. And I was like, well, damn, Larry, like, way to put some respect on your name. And then he ended up getting, you know, like, because remember, he has like the baby negative spirit in his system. So I told y'all he was going to do that. Like he pregnant with the baby spirit, a baby negative spirit force. And it's just only a matter of time for that shit pops out of his body, which is obviously going to be in the season finale. And I guess that'll get him closer to the negative man that we know from the comics, but we'll see what happens with that as well. Jane was talking to Kay, the girl, and the girl wanted to go topside because she wanted to buy some shoes. So Jane was just like, you know what, there's no harm in letting her go topside to buy some shoes. She let the girl go up topside to buy some shoes, and the girl stole a bike. The girl flat out stole somebody's bicycle. And, you know, she bumped into a total stranger. She was talking to a stranger, and then, you know, Jane was just like, don't talk to strangers. And then the guy was just like, you know, he was very nice. He was very polite to the girl, so nothing happened. The other personality started freaking out because they were just like, oh, what if something happened? And blah, blah, blah. And then Jane was just like, shut up. Because she was like, first of all, she said that we're only here because of her. Like, we're a manifestation of this girl's, like, you know, like intense internal, like, mental drama. And if her being the primary, going topside, riding a bicycle, doing like the littlest things just to get some joy outside of this place, she was like, I'm all for it. Now the psychiatrist lady, like, she's scheming. I don't trust the psychiatrist lady, but she's scheming. But Jane's whole thing was, she was just like, yeah, I let the girl go up, nothing happened, shut up. You know, and that was basically it for Jane. And then finally, Madame Rouge was in the living room because she had spoke to Cliff about what happened with the Sisterhood of Dada, and she was just like, oh, she was in the living room, and she was like, oh, the Sisterhood of Dada. She was like, I'll find you, or, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then a voice came out of nowhere from the Sisterhood of Dada, and they were just like, oh, we're coming for you, Madame Rouge. Then they said la-di-da. It said like la-di-da or like la-di-da-di-da-di or whatever the saying was that the Sisterhood of Dada used to say. They wrote it in fire above Madame Rouge's head. # we coming for you. Well, you know the rest. So that was it, and thank you for tuning in. So like I said, I'm interested in this because the Sisterhood of Dada is coming from Madame Rouge. I want to know what she did. Like, I'm just at a point now where I really want to know what she did to portray them and how Niles fits in this whole thing, because he got name dropped for a reason. What happened to the Sisterhood of Dada, which is why they left the Bureau? What was the whole situation there? You know, like I said, like they're doing it up this year on Doom Patrol, and I like the fact that Rita's involved. We'll see what happens with Cyborg's synthetic skin. We'll find out what happens, you know, with with Kay and the girl and everybody else and everything in between. So check me out on Twitter. Check me out on Instagram, hit the notification bell so you'll get notified when other videos pop up, because we're going over a lot of this DC TV, and there's a lot of it. There's definitely a lot of it, and I need to get a shave so we can continue to talk about it along with some sleep. Got Young Justice coming up next, Batwoman still coming up, as well as all the other DC TV shows. So thanks for tuning in, guys. So until next week for some more Doom Patrol action from the Sisterhood of Dada in 1917. Take care, and about this, bitch!